And like that, we should be live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. It is good to have you with us on this wonderful Sunday evening. I hope you are having a good day, a good weekend so far. If you are in the UK, congratulations. You have got an extra day to the weekend coming because the king was coronated. So I hope you're enjoying it. And that is part of the reason why we are streaming today on a Sunday, not a Saturday, because yesterday I was busy, I was with family, I was tired watching coronation ceremonies and things like that. And today, I'm still tired because I've been doing a lot of housework and doing all the odd jobs that I should have done yesterday. But alas, hey ho, I've got an extra day to catch up on sleep. So that is the reason we are here today. And today we are going to be finishing up Dredge. We got to the point where we were realized there was a climax to the story that we were yet to experience. And that is what we are aiming for today. We're going to do some upgrades and then we are going to head to see how this game truly ends. So let us jump into chat and see who we have with us today. Hello, Happy Lemon, Eleanor, good to have you. Bond, Chaotic Fiction, and Captain Psych. Great to have you all with us. I'm here for the first time ever. I think I've seen you before, Bon. I don't think this is exactly your first time. First time for Dredge, maybe. But I think I've seen you before. Johnny Ray, Steffi, hello. Planet Mooney, Ghostly, Calamity. Good to have you all with us. Thank you so much for tuning in, friends. Hope you're all having a good coronation weekend. And if you are Americans, don't worry. I traded in my work day off for the 4th of July because that felt fitting. To take the coronation off instead of the 4th of July. Yes, and as Stevie was saying, please do, if you haven't already, please do like the stream. And of course, if you're new and you're just lurking there and you haven't said hi in chat, please feel free to say hi, but also feel free to subscribe. It really, really helps us out. Just checking some things, last minute bits and bobs. There we go, we are pink chat today. Toothless, hello. Great to have you. Vanessa as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, friends. Great to have you both. Hope you are all doing well. My pop guard is in a position where it makes it look like I haven't got a shirt. I do have a shirt. It's just a very low V. It just makes me look like I'm not wearing a shirt underneath this jacket. It's very strange. Have to disappear in the near future when family gets back with dinner. Yes, not a problem. Appreciate having you with us for as little time as you can say. And Cassandra as well. Hi, everyone's here. The whole party's here. It's great to have you all. Don't worry, great. Well appreciated, Cass. Thank you very much. I had a beanie on today as well. My hair was a mess when I woke up, so I put a beanie on to go with it. So I had a whole look going on. It's a thing. You're gonna go... Oh, Eleanor. I mean, someone had to make the pun. I'm kind of glad it was you, to be fair. We almost have listened to nostalgic music and singing badly. Hey, that's some of the best. When you don't have to worry about who's around, you can just sing however you like. That is some of the best stuff we get to do. Will you be back on the couch with Gardener Bam Bam 3 Let's Play over on GT Live? Sadly, not, because it released on Friday and I am not due to fly to the US for at least a couple more weeks. So sadly, I will miss Gardener Bam Bam on this occasion, but I missed part 1 as well. Who knows? Maybe they'll decide to stream me in. Hard to say. Plans have not been made. Gutted to be missing Gardener Bam Bam Part 3. It's one of those things. I don't actually mind the games nearly as much as the internet seems to. Me and Matt both don't. We see the silliness of it, of the fact that, yes, okay, it's maybe not the most polished. You might think it's cash grabbing, all these things. I think there's an element where I'm like somewhat impressed that they get games out so quickly. But I'm also just like, you know what? If you're having silly fun, it doesn't matter if the game is good or bad, as long as you're having fun doing it. So I'm kind of like indifferent, I think is probably the best way towards it, as opposed to, like, I don't hate the game. I also don't love the game by any stretch. And I don't think Gardener Bam Bam is... Indie horror is dead. Indie horror has gone badly, because I think there are so many, or not even indie horror, mascot horror. I think there are so many mascot horror games that have fallen off and done really badly. And if you can consider Hello Neighbor mascot horror, it kind of is, and that kind of falls into that bracket. I think Bendy has kind of like danced between it a number of times. But there are a number of mascot horror games that just don't hit the mark for me, personally. And I think Garten of Banban is just a culmination of a lot of things. But by no means do I think it is the thing that is, like, destroying mascot horror. Next game challenge is even more confusing, so I doubt you'll be missing much. I mean, I'm all for confusing. If it gets too confusing, we'll have to do a video on it. So, I don't know if we ever will do a video on Garten of Banban just because of the internet. But we'll see. We'll see. If the lore gets interesting and confusing, then maybe. Like, I'd be interested to do it. I mean, even though it was Chapter 2, I was sitting there going, this lore is actually getting some development. So I'm intrigued. Little Nightmares is great. Bendy, if you love it, great. I can't say I enjoyed Bendy or the Dark Revival, personally, when I did play it. Right. Both games have jaw-dropping sequels. Yeah, Little Nightmares, I think, did well. Bendy 2. Jaw-dropping, in my mind, is a bit strong. I think it's an okay sequel, but I don't think it does anything spectacular that makes me go, or unique that makes me go, because it's just a lot of, feels very Dishonor, and very Bioshocky. So I sit there and I'm like, but that's just me. That is just me. I almost cried at one of the reveals in Bendy and the Machine. Oh, Bendy and the Dark Revival. No, that's fair. I think the story was better thought out in a way, but it just wasn't for me. But let us not wait too much longer. Let us jump in and see what we have lined up for us. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Bon. And this is the thing. I want us, always, this group, this, these streams to be a place where we can all voice our opinions. We can all agree, we can disagree, and there is no judgment passed upon anyone for their opinions or disagreements. And we learn and we grow, because there might be something that you reveal and your opinion might suddenly enlighten me to something I'd not thought about, or anyone else in chat. And I think that's what's important, is making sure we have discussion, because you might not have thought about something a certain way. It allows us to understand each other better, because different people have different preferences for different reasons, and so maybe you don't understand that walk of life, which is great. So I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I hate seeing people asking theories for games that have a clear lore and exposition in the ending. They're either a theory or lore in this. Yeah, we struggle with that a lot, where we see people asking for theories, but we are sitting there like, there isn't a theory to be had. This is literally just, like, the lore is there. Play the game, watch a Let's Play, you'll find the lore. And we have to, it's why you see channels like Super Horror Bro. Love Super Horror Bro. He's great. But he does two kinds of videos. He has theory videos, but he also has explainer videos. And explainer videos are just, hey, if you want a summary of the story, here it is, rather than you having to go and watch it and play a game. That's totally fine. It's just not what we do. Whereas theory videos tend to be a bit more speculative and a bit more, hey, look at this evidence. This is telling you something that isn't obvious, which I think is interesting. Bluey is like that, to be honest. Interesting. Yeah, I'd love us to do something on Bluey. Right, where are we at? What are we doing? I've forgotten. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, I wanted to get these upgrades and then see if there's any more. So we need what? We need 6 wood. Oh, no, 7 wood and 4 metal. We should probably sleep. It's late. Right, wood. Where is wood going to be? There's something special over here, so let's go and just grab that quickly. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff up by the volcano. Ooh, hello. Weirdo shark. There's some wood here, which is great. We'll take that. There's some dredge up by the volcano that we didn't get, but the volcano is a real pain to get through because of those freaking fish. Oh, there's still some more. Did not realise that. There we go. So now that's depleted. Yes, Bluey is a fantastic show. We all love Bluey. It was the one show that we as sorry, I got distracted then. We as a team fought over making promos for when I worked at Fox or at Disney. Sorry, it was like the one thing we literally were just like, I want Bluey. No, I want Bluey. No, I want Bluey, and we literally would fight over who got to do Bluey that month. It was hilarious. Obviously, this has been a whole series of it. For whatever reason, this time around, hearing 7 wood and metal immediately made me think of Catan Island. Interesting. Well, there you go. I guess different things speak to different people. We're already going to have to come back for metal because I think I'm going to run out. Oh, no, maybe not. How much have we got? What are we dealing with? Okay. So we've only got 4 wood. That's less ideal, but that's fine. We can make it work. Okay, it's starting to get late. I'm actually going to leave this just because I want to make sure we go sleep over here rather than end up being, like, eaten by a monster. Because that inevitably would happen. No, there wasn't a theory on Bluey. It's one of those ones that I would love us to do one, but we'll see. I don't know if there is anything there. I would love us to do it because I love that show. But no, it wasn't something we did on Bluey, but on theory, but it was something I used to work on at Disney quite a lot, and I loved it. Boom, perfect. There we are. Oh, baby, that's fast. Dry dock. Poison Heart, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, friend.
Is son the new sat Mr. Dapper? Ban certainly managed to take over the indie horror channels, lol.
Something you said. No, it is not necessarily planning to be. I know I've done it for the last 2 weeks. It is not my intention for it to be the new time slot. It is purely that... it is just purely that the last couple of Saturdays have been really busy. And especially this week, I actually have... I fortunately have tomorrow off because of the coronation. So I figured I would stream on Sunday instead when I would feel a little bit less tired. I was socializing a lot yesterday. And so that kind of took it out of me. Yeah, basically, I don't necessarily at this point anyway, plan to change streams to Sundays. But figured I'd rather do a stream. I'd rather do a stream than no stream. Sub rock is just in the water bearing a symbol of a curved fish. Off shape has been chiseled away. Wonder if that's a... Oh, is that a puzzle? Oh, have we got a puzzle to do? Let's try a puzzle. Why not? Because these carp we could just get from in here easily. Carp are what? The slightly bigger ones here. Like this one. Here we go. Carp I actually wouldn't have disappeared, but... There he is, weird boy. Hello, Sabina. Good to have you. And Dylan. Hello, hello. Ragnarok Chronicles. I don't know if I'd actually said hi to you, but hello. Let's sell you specifically. No! I didn't mean to sell them all. I needed the carp. Dang it. Oh, that's so annoying. I needed those carp. Press the wrong button. It was still the square button, but it wasn't. Where else can we get carp, I wonder? Is there carp on, like, out here? Is this carp? This might be carp. It is. Or cod, sorry, not carp. Oh, Poison Art, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, friend.
Yes, my fellow Americans are strangely obsessed with the British royal family and the upcoming coronation. Never understood it.
Well, yeah, I suppose there'd be no reason for you to understand it. It's a strange old thing. But yeah, even for me it was a little bit weird to watch. I was sat there going, this is odd. Just as a you know, as a ceremony. It's a little odd to watch, for sure. Yep, slab of rock. So my guess is this is a puzzle that I have to solve, essentially. Like, make sure everything fits. So it's not going to be that, it's going to be that. So I probably have more cod than I need. Huh. Wait, really? Goes like that, maybe? No, because it's still going to do... That goes like... There we go. I solved it. A wave washes over the fish, sweeping them away. Huh. So we could have probably got that early game. That probably would have helped us in the early game because it would have given us an extra thing to help us with fishing. Interesting. So I bet there's a ton of those around, but we just totally missed them. Or I say we. I totally missed them. Hey-ho. Well, let's sell some of these fish then. Then we got to figure out where to go. So the question is, where do we go for more... we only need 2 wood now. We don't need that much wood. It's only 2. I feel like wood is the easiest to get, or should be. Is that dredge? That's like sheet. That's metal dredge. That's less helpful. Trying to think, like, where's around here that might have some extra dredge? Like, this island should have some extra dredge. See, like here. There we go. Because like, this is exactly the perfect thing that things would appear and disappear on. So we just need 2. Ugh, spots depleted. That's a shame. Doesn't look like there's anything here. We are close to this though. Where's the map? So what are these places on the map? Is there dredge around this bit? Because I'm not sure if I've been to this bit or not. So we've not been to this island before. There is lightning here, which is less fun. So we're like near the volcano, but we're not actually like, oh. Oh no, we have been to this bit. It's got this random lady on it who wants like a specific thing. Oh. Apparently I resolved something then. What pursuit resolved? What pursuit just resolved? There's also a couple of pursuits we're clearly missing. The figure in red, the person passed away. Ooh, I didn't feed them fast enough. Oh, you have to do those fast. That's unfortunate. I did not expect a person to die because I didn't do the side quest fast enough. That's unfortunate. I think there is another one which I did find, and unfortunately they are probably going to have died as well, would be my guess, sadly. I just didn't expect... Yeah, I just didn't expect that to actually happen, you know? I kind of expected those side quests to just be, you know, available forever. I didn't expect a person to die because I didn't do... Because there's one over that way, which I know I have absolutely neglected to answer. So that will be... They'll be dead as well, which is not ideal. What's next after Dredge? No idea. No idea. There are... I am looking at what games are out or what games are coming out soon. And we will see whether there is anything that makes sense. But there is nothing specific in mind right now. Yeah, because look, I'll go and show you. Because there's one over here which I've already met. I don't know what the benefit of finding them is or helping them is. Like, I guess you get something. But, yeah, I sadly have already encountered, like, this one. So this one will be dead. Guarantee it. Something seems off. The hooded figure is slumped. Yeah, you watch from a distance. Yeah. So they are dead as well. So there's only one left. And we, like, I thought they were interesting. But I also wasn't given... Ow. Come on, I wasn't facing that way. Oh, come on! Turn, you silly boat. But yeah, I wasn't They just kind of say, hey, go get this fish. And then I got one of the fishes. And then it was like, hey, go get this other fish. I was like, okay, I'll go and get that other fish another time. But I don't know whether there is a, I don't know whether there is, like, a benefit to feeding them or what you get for feeding them. It's just frustrating because I was like, oh, if I'd known, I wouldn't have done it so that I couldn't have, like, failed that quest. Shit, right. You're gonna help repair me. Thank you. Yeah, several times like the dog. Yeah, just put the dog in storage. And then it's never a problem. You never have to worry about it after that, once you put the dog in storage. But yeah, frustrating that those are timed missions. Because we've not experienced a timed mission yet. So I just didn't expect it to be a timed mission. Damn it, the wood from there hasn't returned. I can't remember where else to get wood. I mean, to be fair, this is probably not a game I am going to 100% complete, so it's not a big deal. I was just like, I don't know what you get from... The thing I'm more worried about is, like, what should I be getting from them that I've now missed? Yeah, I don't think, Cassandra, it does make sense that it was timed. Like I say, it was just, I was like, oh, we've not had time missions before. And while you can say, yes, they were hungry, clearly. The thing for me is while they were hungry, they didn't say a lot to you. Like, I think they ate the fish we gave them, but they wasn't, like, telling you, oh, they're hungry and they're gonna die if you don't feed them. It was very much just, you know, they're going to eat whatever you give them. And so I just assumed I could give them a fish at another time. Because I assume they'll be at one of these other islands off in the distance. Right, let's get you. So we've got the last bit of wood we need. Oh, great. I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's not what I wanted. I'm only going to take what I need right now. Because I want to explore these sort of islands that are like here. They give you books which boost efficiency in certain things rather than give you something brand new. I was just checking. There are 4 signature figures and tales. Yeah, that makes sense. There'll be 4 in each area, I would assume. Oh, yeah, so look, there's the other figure. Yeah, so there's 1 for each section. That makes complete sense.
Tom,
thank you for the
warning but not confirmed. Ban 3 has a section that includes a song that set off a couple copyright claims. It wasn't universal, but it should be noted just in case.
That is good to know. Thank you, Poison Heart, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Yes, I was vaguely aware that there was some copyright issues, which is, you know, super fun and super cool of them when they know that most people are playing this game on YouTube. But hey-ho, that is a thing they did and a decision they decided to make. So, the question is, do I go for a net? So I'm going to uninstall you a minute, because I actually think you're better installed sort of over here, probably. This is then going to need to be installed over here. I can then either install a net, or I can install this thing. So, net, like, I think there are probably some fish that can only be catched. No. It just does, it's just passive, isn't it? For now, I'm going to install this thing, I think. We still have 2 fishing slots, so I could put some, or 3 fishing slots. So I could put something like U in, which is like 44%. I could put U in, 38%. You are what? It's only 6% though, boost, which is less ideal. Or needed, I should say. Anything for the upgrades while I'm here? How many upgrades? We've got 4. We could upgrade our motors for 4. Actually, that might not be a bad shout before we head to the final mission. Was that going to take up 5 slots? I'd guess. How many slots do I have? Okay, so we could have one of those side motors, and then we could have a big one. We couldn't have the big one we just bought, which is a bit unfortunate, but we could have the big one of those side ones, and then one of the smaller ones. How much is that going to do, though? Am I going to do more Minecraft Legends? I don't know. The fact that I put number 1 is just because it's the first episode, and I always do it for whatever series. Even if we do it as a one-off, I just go, this is number 1 and the only one. But I don't know whether I will do any more of them. It's not really my style of game. I'm just going to do this. It's not really my style of game. It's kind of fun, but it's not really my cup of tea that I want to be doing a ton on. Cool, so there's that. So let's get this installed. So we need to uninstall some of this. Put you in. Yeah, so as anticipated, it's that sort of shape. Yeah, so there's not a lot of option, really, in terms of what you can get. Let's do that. Then we put one of these on. That? That's 14, and that is 15, so let's put you in as well. I think that's more. So what, 15, so 16. So, sort of 68. And roughly 84, 104. Whereas before we were at that, which was 26, plus another 26. So 52, plus this, which is 80-something. Yeah, we are faster. We are definitely faster. We are going to sleep, though, because we're about to head. Oh, wait, does that thing cause me to have apparitions? Look at our speed. Hello, Killer for you, and hello, Mark. Good to have you guys. Right. Are we ready? I'm ready. We must work on final voyage. This time it will be... This time I'll be with you. I'm ready. Warning, you're entering the final phase of the game. Yes, I'm ready. One more time. Actually, I should make sure the game has saved, actually. That's the one thing. Because there's no, like, option to manually save other than doing this and then jumping back in. I just want to make sure it has actually saved. Yes, I'm ready. Yep, I'm ready. Yep, yes, I'm ready to go. Warning one more time. The relics are coming with us. We should wait for the fog to thicken. With luck, the seas will remain unaware of our intentions. Oh, we're actually waiting for nighttime now, are we? We are. Now our destination is the open expanse in the west of Great Marrow. It's marked on the map. We must not tarry on the open waters, not with such a significant cargo. Make haste. His shape disappears from the mirror. A chill rises in your body as you turn to leave. The collector is with you. Oh, it's to the big beaming light, isn't it? I'm gonna have Banish on me, just in case right now. Interesting, the time isn't changing though. Normally the time changes when we're boating like this. This is the place. This is where she was taken from us, and where we can at last bring her back. Only here, and only because of what we've achieved. You open the book, its pages are frosted with ice, and a chill mist rises around your fingers. You begin to read aloud. To release a lost one, frozen in time. You throw the pocket watch overboard. And tethered by chains in the deep. You throw the necklace overboard. Bind them to this world once more. You throw the ring overboard. Open the door to the starry heavens. Slot the key in the lock of the music box. And lay the weary world to rest. You throw the music box overboard, its key left unturned. I did suspect that we might be trying to bring her back. That we were the one that lost our fiancé. Or at least the collector, who is us. Or our wife, sorry. It was wife, wasn't it? They got married. Wow, thank you, Poison Heart, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it.
Tom, have you ever played BioShock on stream? I know you've done some story-based stuff.
I haven't played BioShock. We did a bit of Dishonored for a bit, but it got really boring and repetitive because I was trying to do it the good way rather than like the fun, violent way. And so that was tricky and got a bit boring and repetitive. I haven't done BioShock though. I've never played BioShock actually. Is he divorced? No, he is not divorced. He married and his wife died at sea. Oh my goodness. I had missed that. Oh, that'd be a kraken if I ever saw one. Oh. What? Wait, that's the end? Oh, we should have just done that at the end of last stream. What? That is, not what I expected. So he succeeded in bringing our wife back. But in doing so summoned, like, the Kraken to do so. So this is where you have to be, swimming around with the, high insanity. So if you're swimming around with high insanity, you can touch the black rocks and they actually tell you a story. And I think that you, it tells you more about, like, the curse and all this stuff that's happening. Because that is very abrupt. I really did expect that to be like a mission or like a ton of mini games or a ton of like cauldrons we'd have to get, or you know, like we did with the last place where it's like, oh, you need to put these kinds of fishes in here and that sort of thing. There was another NPC trying to implore you to do something else, Vanessa. I seem to recall that there was an ending with the lighthouse keeper was also trying to get us to do something. Question is there a way for me to go back and try my other ending? So if I hit continue, what happens? Does it take me to the end? Where does it take me? Yeah, so it takes me here just before I made that call. So let's talk to the lighthouse keeper. Because the lighthouse keeper was offering me, like, another option. What is it? I'm ready. Show me where I need to go. Is this just going to be the same ending again, or is this different? Nice at its thickest until the ocean is as it was all those years ago. So she's going to come as a guide this time, or is this going to be different? Okay, I'll point you the way. Follow my light. Go and do what's right for her. Throw it back. Okay, so there is a difference now. But it is the same that the time isn't changing. So yeah, that ending was clearly us being selfish. We realized we were the collector, and we were like, we need to use this dark magic to bring our wife back, and we did, but at the loss of everyone else and probably our own lives. You know, so it was probably not a ideal scenario there. The book struggles in your grasp, its weight somehow shifting from side to side. Silver ribbons flail pathetically against your fingers. You hold it high above your head. A lone groan rumbles from the book, echoed by another from the depths. You throw it into the foaming water. Oh. Yeah, so it consumes us. Interesting. Interesting. So are those the only two endings, or are there more? I'm intrigued. Yeah, so the town is now at peace. And probably the fog is gone. Good ending, the bad ending. Well, there we go. Yeah, I did. So there are only two endings. It's the good and the bad ending. I almost wouldn't have discovered that good ending. It was only because I happened to talk to the lighthouse keeper at the near the end of the last episode. I was like, huh. Interesting. Yeah, basically, Mark, you either survive, you either prevent the apocalypse or you summon Cthulhu. Either or. Well, there we are. Interesting. Say, this is one of the... Well, Poison Heart, thank you once again for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, friend.
Was Steffi worth the Dapper Kingdom, Tom? You've dug far into the reaches of the blackest of magics. Was it worth the souls of your subjects?
Oh, right. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, yes, you're doing this. I mean, it depends on whether I survived or not. If I survived, then maybe. No. Sadly, the answer is normally to move on. But there we have it, everyone. That was Dredge. And there is definitely no way to bring those people back. I'm always worth it. No case. Dredge. So yeah, the thing is, I probably won't be able to get 100% completion in this game unless I reset it because of those hooded figures dying, which is unfortunate. Take too long to deliver fish, the hooded guys will pass away. The timer doesn't start until you interact with them. Go collect 3 fish before you talk to them. Yeah, that's just kind of the advice. Fair enough. Well, that is what it is. But this game was great. This game was really super, super fun, actually. Yeah, super, super fun. Relax fishing mode. Enable this mode, you're having difficulty completing the fishing or dredging mini games. Fair enough, so you just get everything. Oh, that's interesting. There's all these other... That's fun. But this game was great. Honestly, loved this. Honestly, like this was one of those little indie games I saw, and I'm really glad I picked it up. It was like fun mini games, had some cool. It was a good level of horror for me. Wasn't super scary, but also wasn't like impossible to like get around. You could do it without like letting the spooks just like halt your gameplay and stop your heart kind of thing. It was fun. It has a subtle, unsettling feeling that something is in the water despite it being a chill fishing game, and I love that. That's exactly it, Eleanor. It's exactly that. It's that sense of the vibes it have. It strikes a really good balance. I also enjoy the mystery, and obviously there's clearly good market for completionists, people that want to do this game 100%, who want to make sure they complete all the side quests, because I clearly missed 2 side quests as well. And obviously 2 of them died, which is unfortunate, so that's fun. And, you know, collect all the fish, complete the diary thing, and get all the, like, be brave and go out at night gaining insanity to touch the Blackstones and learn more of the mystery, which is fun. So if you really wanted to, there's probably a ton more lore in this game. I think the story is pretty self-explanatory, even from a surface level, but if you really wanted to understand, like, what the Cthulhu thing is and the mystery of, like, the insanity and the fog, you probably need to touch all the Blackstones, but, like, so if you're interested in that, I think that is, like, I highly recommend this game. If you haven't played it yourself, I think it's great. It's not super expensive because it's a small indie game. So, highly recommend. Explore the mystery, see what you find. I think it was great. But we have still got over an hour of stream left. So, let me figure out how we are going to do this. No, that was the wrong button for me to press. Let's figure out what we're going to do. Do a speed run. Ha! Probably not gonna do a speed run. I don't have any other games, I don't think, right now. But let's go to you. Oh, Apple Music is deciding it's not going to work for me again. There it is. So we will turn this into a bit of a tea with Tom. But with that, I'm just going to check if there is anything else that I can jump in on. I don't really think so. Not that I've got downloaded already or anything, so I think we're probably going to stick with this. Do I play guitar? I do. I haven't played in a very, very long time. Actually, what I'm going to say is give me one moment. I will leave you with Esteban because I need to go and get myself some tea if this is going to be a tea with Tom. So give me 1 second and I will be right back. Aha! I have returned. And I have tea. Oh. There we are. Lovely. Let's do some reconfiguring, shall we? What is trying to be downloaded? For us, I can't install, you don't have enough free space. I should probably look at doing that. Or getting that sorted, but apparently I need to clear some space. So let me see what I can delete. I'm just gonna mess with this quickly. Yeah, just thinking about my this game some more and just sort of thinking about it all. What can I uninstall? I can't uninstall you. Yeah, I probably install you. No, I didn't want to launch you. Yeah, Dredge, I think the only thing about Dredge that made me a little sad was that end, like, the ending was good. It's a good from a story perspective as an ending. Yeah, it's good from, like, a story perspective. It just makes me sad because it felt like there was... I expect, because they're like, by the way, you are heading into the ending. They did the classic, like, you know, you're about to reach the ending. Are you sure? Kind of vibe. I was then like, well, why... I was expecting to do so, yeah, like you said, Mark, accumulation of gameplay, either lessons learned or things achieved. Like, you know, that sort of thing is what I expected. Like, where you would go, oh, you need to have upgraded everything, have all your things ready. You know, have all your stuff ready. Are you ready to, like, actually take this on? You got all your upgrades. You got everything sorted. Are you good? Are you ready? You know, that kind of vibe was what I was expecting. But there just wasn't that. It just kind of, like, it was literally just a, are you sure? You're heading to the ending. There's no saving after this. And then you did one thing and it ended and they just reloaded you back where you were anyway, like, before that ending, so it didn't need to have that message. It's like Kingdom Hearts, to be fair, where, like, it does warn you, hey, by the way, this is the ending, you can't save after this point, and then when you beat the game, it reloads you back to just before the final boss. But there's a final boss and a lot of fighting, a lot of battling going on. That's the only thing that made me, that I'm a little bit like, oh, that's a bit of a, that's a bit disappointing. Because I was kind of hoping that we would have, yeah, I was kind of hoping we would have a little bit more to do in that. Which is why I said, ooh, there's an ending. We're going to leave it till next stream. Because if it was just that ending, I would have done them both at the end of last stream. And we would have just finished the game last week. But hey ho, you get a free tea with Tom thrown in as a bonus. So, can't complain too much. Woo! Yeah, made it a final boss. I get there's no boss in this game, strictly. Like, I understand that. But also, like this, I understand that, but I also sit there and go, there's also, like, you know, you had to get different fishes. There were mechanics. There were monsters you had to fight, which was interesting last time, that there were actual monsters we had to fight. Like, you know, well, not monsters you had to fight, but you had to, like, avoid, you know, the fire monsters at the volcano, or the brain ones from the mangroves, or the big kraken in the middle. I kind of was hoping that we would get to fight some of them a bit more, or, like, have to avoid them while getting to the final point. Like, and then, like, you get to that final point and you have to make a decision. Do you bring your wife back or do you throw it back, rather than making the decision beforehand? It would have been interesting to go, like, how much of the story have you taken into consideration? Right, you've now got to avoid all, like, and the time, because it didn't move, it's like, right, avoid all the hallucinations, so it becomes, like, maze-like, and your skills get put to the test. You're then avoiding these monsters, using all the abilities you've gained, like Banish and, the speed thing and whatever, to try and avoid certain things. I just think that would have been interesting to have done more of. But alas, it is what it is. So it'll be fine regardless, but... But hey-ho. Say, otherwise, great game. It was just the ending I felt was a little bit odd, but it is what it is. I mean, technically, we did both Mystic Rune. I initially just went for the bad ending because I just didn't think about it, because I expected there to be a bad, and I didn't realize there were two endings, or I didn't realize that it would do a difference going either way. So... Felt like a weird balance between traditional stories, conclusion, and the end of the game. Yeah, it just kind of was a bit like... It concluded the story, but that's all it did. There was nothing else, which again is why it's weird to then give you the message of, hey, if you do this, there's no going back, because, okay, I had to sleep until 1 a.m. and then go into the middle of the ocean, and then that was it. And then if I reload the game, it just takes me back before I did that, so... I guess with the first ending, at least, the evil causing all this wanting you to get out there, unleash it, therefore it would have given you a clear path. Could have been tough to stop you. Yeah, well, and this is the thing. So you're right with that, the dark ending, but I think with the good ending, the secret ending, it could have been fun to have gone, hey, here's like a final chance. It's almost like the Sonic, if you play it in hard mode, you got a final boss. Clarice, hello. Sorry I've been late, but I've been busy lately. Yeah, no problem. I should probably change the title, at least, of the stream. Where can I change my titling? Let me load it up, see if I can. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I wonder if that's why my FPS is dipping, because I've got Google Chrome still open. Oh, come on, Google, load. Interesting. Can I change the thumbnail? Or are we stuck with that thumbnail until after stream? I can edit it here. Here we go. Let's load in our Tea with Tom slide. Where is that one? There it is. There we go. Cool. Right, let's close you because you are taking up too much of my my computer's CPU. That should free up some space. Cool. There we go. What do you think a Dredge 2 would be like? I don't think there would be a Dredge 2, and I wouldn't want there to be. The story is very self-contained. It's a fun little indie game with a fun gimmick. No, not gimmick. It's a good set of mechanics, and it works because it's new and it feels new and different. I think, but it's not the kind of game where like, I wouldn't want anything to change or improve. And so my fear would be that if you did make a second one, it would feel a lot of the same. And part of it is the mystery of what the heck was this fog? What the heck was this magic book? So, which is cool, but I just don't think it's necessarily the thing that I would, I'd want a Dredge 2, to be fair. Well, Poison Heart, you enjoyed that grape popsicle. I can't say I enjoyed grape. Matt made me say it in a script, and I literally had to make it do a take where I was distraught by the fact he asked me to say that grape was my favorite. Oh, Andre, Need for Speed. That is a callback to my Need for Speed 2. Need for Speed Underground 2, I think it was my, like, some of my teenage years. I spent so much time in that game. I knew that had to be a joke. Yeah, it was one of those things where I actively hate grape flavor, and he literally wrote in the script, it's like, I got grape, I just love it. And then literally in like a comment on the document, just put a winky face, because he knew that how I feel about it. So I gave him some serious takes, but I also did a jokey take of like, oh, you're really gonna make me say this? Just because that's, I feel like my character on the show now is just this constantly disappointed British person. But people who have actually get out of their way to have grape flavor need to be player lefty. That is a strong opinion. Are you going to do more YouTube shorts? As in on this channel, or as in the one I did on Game Theory? Loved my Sonic short. Oh, well, thank you, Mystic Rune. I'd love to do shorts on this channel. I don't know what they'd be. Like, cut downs are obviously the easiest thing of like highlight moments. I did make one for one of the moments in our Pokemon Fire Red series, from when I was just going, where is this thing? How am I getting, when I just got really ragey for not getting to the end of the Safari Zone. I did make one, I just never finished it. Because, you know, editing takes a lot of time. And so I'd love to be able to get to a point where ad revenue is earning enough that I could hire someone to be an editor to make shorts for this channel. But I assumed you would be talking about the Sonic short from Game Theory. And who knows? We will see. We will have to see whether I do more shorts. It was an experiment that we've done. We did it on film with Lee. We've did it with myself now on game. And we just wanted to see kind of how people reacted, how people responded. People seem to have been responding positively, which is good. So maybe I'll get to do more. It is kind of like not entirely my decision, obviously, because it's not my channel. So we will see. But it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was a good, fun short to do. A little outside my comfort zone in terms of how much math I had to speak, because it's one thing to write and like research maths. It's another thing to have to, and like science and stuff, it's another thing to have to like exposit it verbally. Yeah, most of the comments were people questioning how Matt became British. That was true. I also saw a number of comments. I did laugh how many comments were like, who the F is this guy? It's just people that obviously don't know me from my streams or from GT Live that literally only watch Game Theory, which makes sense if you think about it. Game Theory has 17 million subscribers. GT Live only has about 3, I think. So you go, yeah, there is a 14 million subscriber difference. There are going to be a lot of people who are just like, who is this guy? Who's this random British dude that's dressed like Matt Pat? Which also, by the way, total coincidence that I have a similar fashion sense to Matt. I had it before even Matt figured out the style, but I just kind of figured it out on my own. It's just one of those funny coincidences. YouTube ad disappoints me and only notifies me of like one short at a time, so I miss some of them. I look for it. Yeah, it's always worth going to... I say it's worth going to the channels directly, because you know that Game Theory, Film Theory, and Style Theory all upload shorts on a Thursday. The sad thing is, though, that actually if you do it via the sub feed, we don't get monetization on that shorts view. We only get monetization on shorts views if they are naturally served to you in the shorts feed. It's a mess. Shorts pay nothing. It's disastrous. How dare they not know the Dapper Tom? I know, right? No, I get it. I absolutely get it. Again, 14 million people subscribe. Yes, I do appreciate it. I did appreciate it, Johnny, when there were a few that were like, that recognized who I was. And then in the replies to comments going, that is Dapper, Mr. Tom, how dare you? If they don't know who Tom is, then that's heresy. I mean, true. Secretly, Tom is trying to take over Matt's life. No, I don't want Matt's life. Love the guy, but he busy. I'm busy, and he way busier. It's so weird about the monetization. Yeah, the monetization of shorts is a strange one. Like, it's the best monetization shorts content has online. Bar none. It's just not very good. I never swipe through on shorts. I literally only watch the ones that I want to watch, which is fair. Mark, that's a totally fair way to watch shorts. It's just, yeah, from a monetization standpoint, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't consider that a view for monetization, which is a real shame. Hello, Rhino Addy. Good to have you, friend. Speaking of fashion sense, your blazer is very dapper. Wait, it's not actually a blazer. This is just a black denim jacket. Not a blazer, but appreciate the compliment nonetheless. I do love me a good jacket. I don't have any blazers other than my suit jacket, my suit blazer. I don't have any blazers that fit me anymore, which is sad. I should probably get one or two because I do like a good blazer. It's just been it's been a while since I've had a good blazer that fit me. Are your watch hours doing okay for monetization? I mean, they are fine. I think, given the amount of views I actually get, you got to bear in mind, so each video, each stream, in terms of VOD views, is probably only getting about 100 to 200 views a VOD. Like, past the point after we go live. And so I may be making like £10 a month on ad revenue. It's not a lot. Super chats are the main thing that are like financing anything right now, which obviously anyone that does super chat, greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very much. It's always appreciated and every little helps. Never get ones from channels I'm subscribed to. Johnny Ray, yeah, I've noticed that too. It took a long time. It took like a month of me watching game theory, style theory, film theory shorts for them to actually be fed to me in the feed. It was never something I got naturally for a long time. Because you have to have watched at least one in the shorts feed for it to go, ah, you like this guy, and then it serves you more. Shh. Guess I need to use YouTube like TikTok and get more money now. No, don't worry about it, Mark. It is what it is. Like, as we grow, views will go up. And the fact that I'm getting like 100 views after stream or 200 views after stream is still pretty impressive given the size of the community we have. All right, so you got a great fashion sense, Tom. Oh, well, thank you, Cassandra. Appreciate it. Someone animate Tom in the chat there with fashion meme. I'll be so happy. What's driving me now? Australian YouTube upload times. They are so inconsistent and upload at the worst times. Ha! That's funny. There's only, I don't follow, I think I follow one Australian YouTuber. Other than that, I know Steffi follows one as well, but I don't watch many Australian YouTubers. Not because I don't like Australian YouTubers, I just never come across them in areas that I really enjoy watching. Like Hyperdroid is probably the only one, I think, that I subscribe to. Goodness. Yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure there are good ones out there. I barely have time to watch the YouTubers I'm already subscribed to. To be fair, I subscribe to so many. And so I got to that point where I do have to pick and choose. I used to be the kind of guy that if I was subscribed to you, I'd watch every video you produce. Same with Game Theory, same with anyone. I'd be like, I need to watch every single video. And then when I got this job, I noticed that, you know, not every Game Theory video does the same. Like, some get 1 million views, some get 500,000 views, some get 2 million views. Like, not everyone watches every video you release. And I've had to start doing that for various things just because I don't have the time to watch every single video. Will Tom play Jedi Survivor? I don't know. I've toyed with it just for myself, and to play it just for me, just for fun. I have toyed with doing it for stream. However, one, I've heard there's a ton of great game-breaking bugs right now. So that is not ideal. But also, it's not ideal because there is some issues with Star Wars particularly and copyright. So I need to see what the deal is and if people are getting copyright struck for it and whether that game is getting copyright struck for the music. Because it's normally them using official Star Wars music that gets people copyright struck. And so I need to see, because that was the issue with Lego Star Wars. I did a couple of episodes of Lego Star Wars, got like, not struck, but claimed, like 3 times around. And I was just like, this ain't worth it. What little monetization I can get, it's not worth it. Because I also don't know if it like affects your super chats and stuff like that, so that's always a pain. Yeah, I felt bad because I subbed to the lockpicking lawyer and I don't really care for much content. Yeah, I have a few channels like that. So I really liked Game Grumps, but there's only a handful of things that I watch these days, mainly because of time. And so I really enjoy a lot of their stuff, but there are sometimes I'm just like, I'm not interested in this. And it's the same with, so I could list off so many channels. It's one of the reasons I've actually gone through a cull and unsubscribed from a ton of channels, because I'm like, I might watch one of your videos every few months, in which case I can just search you up and see if it's there if I want to, if I miss it. But I'm not watching the majority of your content, and so unfortunately I've just had to unsubscribe. It's just the way it is. Hello, Fable Rain. Great to have you, friend. Thanks so much for tuning in. The only ones I watch are the Theorist ones, and I guess FNAF. Yeah, there are some FNAF channels in general that I watch every upload, but that tends to be during work hours because it's a work thing. I watch every theory video that comes out that isn't game theory because I'm watching game theory ahead of time to QC and quality and to do quality control and you know, check the episode's all good and the editors have done a good job, which normally they have. So I very, very occasionally do. Like I won't watch game theories very often, but I will watch the other 3. Which again, the more channels there are, the more stuff I get to watch because I know the episode that's coming out. I have no idea what it's about or like how it's been written. You could play in Survivor music. See, this is the thing. It's what I loved about the Guardians of the Galaxy game is they did. Let's get this track. This is a bit of a weird one. They did introduce a streaming mode, so it got rid of, because obviously Guardians of the Galaxy has so much copyright music in it, which is awesome if you're playing on your own, but if you're streaming it, it's a nightmare. But they introduced a streaming mode where they replaced all the music with copyright-free music. And I was like, yeah, I wish Star Wars games did that and allowed you to stream, but EA and Disney are so, like, tight about all of that. It's a shame. I should see. Let me see. Let me do some Googling and see whether people are getting copyright strike for Jedi Survivor. Because that is one of those games that I'm intrigued by. I didn't play the last one, Fallen Order. But I was always intrigued by this one. Jedi Survivor. Copyright music. Copyright claims for Fallen. So Fallen Order had this issue. I've uploaded 17 videos of Fallen Order gameplay to my channel. 2 of those videos, major cutscene played, music from the movies, Anakin's Dark Deeds, etc. I emailed EA. They replied saying fully encourage video uploading, even monetized channels, and they do not file copyright claims. These circumstances generally means free advertisement publicity for the games. I tried to dispute the first copyright email. Heard anything back from YouTube? Now it's the second one claim. Has anyone else had this issue? What was done? Interesting. So it's basically one of those things of going, hey, EA is happy for me to do it. The downside is that I would likely get a copyright claim immediately after stream. And I then have to go through the copyright appeal process, which takes a month for Disney and things to respond. And they probably wouldn't respond, which would mean I'd get all the money anyway. But it means that I would... all the money basically gets held for review for like a month until they drop it. And then you get it all, which is a bit of a pain. But hey-ho. So maybe I'll consider it. But I'll see. I'll see if I can find anything about Jedi Survivor and whether that's been an issue. Yes, good film suggestions. Appreciate having some film suggestions. Apparently, I need to watch more movies, is what I'm being told at the minute. So I appreciate any film recommendations you've got. Anything that's like super important or feels super important would be greatly appreciated. I'm hopefully going to see Guardians tomorrow. I think that's the plan. Hello, Goku Mini. Good to have you, friend. Thanks for tuning in. Does Marvel even count as good movies anymore? Apparently, Guardians is a good movie. I've heard good things about Guardians specifically. Because I have heard bad things about things like Ant-Man and some of their shows and some of these other things. I've heard some bad things. But yeah, apparently Guardians is a good movie. So I'm excited about that. I've also recently been getting into, Steffi and I have been getting into watching Dimension 20. That's been fun. I've always enjoyed Brendan Lee Mulligan and those guys from College Humor Days, but I never sat down to watch Dimension 20. So we finished Fantasy High Season 1. We are currently in Season 1 of Unsleeping City, because we wanted to watch the ones that were free on YouTube first to see if we liked it, and then we might subscribe to Dropout, and we'll see. School of Rock. School of Rock's a fantastic movie, Dylan. I have seen that one. I've watched that a few times, actually, in my life. But fantastic movie. Yeah, I felt pretty marveled out after Endgame. I've watched, like, every movie up to Endgame, and then I think there's, like, 3 or 4 Phase 4 things that I've watched. But not many, to be honest. That's where I kind of fell off. So I kind of feel like I need to tune in now that we're in Phase 5. I might need to kind of play catch up. Under Siege movies. Interesting. Okay, Under Siege. I'll put that on the list. Yeah, Loki and WandaVision, I've heard good things about. Those are like the 2 I've been told of all the series to watch. Those are the 2 that I've been told I should catch up on. Is Loki and WandaVision. Looking forward to the Spider-Verse. Again, that's actually one I should probably watch. I probably should watch the original Spider-Verse, because I haven't watched that one. So I should watch the original Spider-Verse, and then the new one's obviously coming out. Moon Knight was really good. I heard mixed things about Moon Knight. Obviously, Moon Knight was a very, very different show as well. Loki is getting a second season. I'm pretty sure you're right. I think I heard the same thing. And there's apparently a Vision based show that's going to happen. It's not WandaVision. It's technically like WandaVision Season 2, but it's Vision specific, I've heard. Legend of Vox Machina. Yeah, I'm tempted to watch some Vox Machina, for sure. We wanted to try out Dimension 20 first because I like the comedians and I knew the people. It felt like and because it felt really safe. Because Steffi had never played or watched D&D before, so it was Brennan's pretty good at like going through things and explaining how things work, because a lot of the players in, particularly Fantasy High, was like their first ever season, so they were very new as well, and so he was able to explain things, so it was super helpful, and it was great. I am tempted to watch some Critical Role, because I like Matt Mercer, I like Travis Willingham, and some of the other people that are on that show. I think that'd be fun, and I know Legend of Vox Machina is great, because it's just the animated story version of the campaign, which I think is a really cool way of doing it. So yeah, I'm absolutely interested in watching that, because it feels more like a show rather than just watching people speak for 2 hours at a time. Look up the Asylum films. Please watch some of their IP. They're modern B-flick movie makers. Sharktopus. Hope you've seen Free Guy. Yes, I have seen Free Guy. I enjoyed Free Guy. The last official Fox movie. So while I was working for Disney, I felt like I had to watch it. Yes, I loved it. Similar movie, Ready Player One. Didn't watch Ready Player One, but I didn't hear good things about it. Whereas Free Guy, everyone loved. I loved Free Guy. I thought that was a fantastic movie. Yeah, Critical Role is long. That's the challenge. And it's fun, but it feels less weird than Dimension 20. I think Brennan and the College Humor crew are really wacky. I think there's a slightly more serious one, because they're all serious voice actors. So they are like they do more serious campaigns, whereas Brennan Lee Mulligan comes up with some crazy, weird, like Fantasy High is a great one, or Candyland's another good one, where it's just like, here are some weird and wacky worlds to play in that are like bright and colorful and stupid. It's great. See you later, Rhino. Thanks so much for tuning in, friend. Have you seen the BBC Sherlock? I never watched the BBC Sherlock. I watched the ones with Robert Downey Jr., but no, I never watched the BBC one. It was at the point where I was like, I wasn't watching much BBC stuff. I watched Doctor Who. I fell off Doctor Who after the first, I think, 5 episodes of Peter Capaldi. He just didn't interest me as the Doctor, and I don't think that was his performance, unfortunately. I think it was how Stephen Moffat was writing him, because I really enjoyed David Tennant, and I actually enjoyed Matt Smith. Matt Smith was given bad material, but he performed it well, and his childlike wonderment kind of sold the bad ideas better. But Stephen Moffat did not write Peter Capaldi well, and Peter Capaldi just he was just grumpy Scotsman the whole time, which was just not interesting to watch. It was really boring. So I fell off then. David Tennant's obviously back, which they are doing because they lost a lot of viewers through Peter Capaldi, and they lost a lot of viewers during Jodie Whittaker. Sadly, I think Jodie Whittaker, again, fantastic performer, but I heard she didn't get very good material. So because they lost so many viewers of Doctor Who through that, they were like, we need to bring David Tennant back to be the next Doctor in order to pull back some of these viewers who loved Tennant, because Tennant was like peak revival of Doctor Who. Capaldi got better. Yeah, I did hear he got better. While I was contributing factor for his first series was originally meant for Matt Smith before he jumped ship for his film career. Yeah, no, that's the thing. But they didn't. They unfortunately, sadly, did not rewrite it well, which is a shame. I've heard people say they prefer Peter Capaldi's first. Yeah, I said that Peter Capaldi's first season was good, but the other two were much better. Yeah, I've heard the same. It was just one of those things where I got so into watching other things that it's really hard to jump back into it. And there's also a sense of sometimes you do need to watch the crap stuff to get to the good stuff. And I always dislike shows that require me to go, oh, to fully understand it, I need to watch the crap to get back into the good stuff. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a great film. Love that movie. There's also the fact of introducing a brand new Doctor and an anniversary special would be complicated, but yes, Tennant is also an audience draw. Yeah, there is also that factor, Chronicle. That's true. The Jodie writers annoyed me. Capaldi was okay, but Jodie's stories were just terrible, and Clara got gypped. Oh, I loved Clara. I loved Clara. Clara with Matt, and that's the thing. That was part of my issue, is I loved Clara and Matt Smith's chemistry. I thought they were great. Hello, Esther, good to have you. But yeah, my issue then became, because, like you say, Matt Smith jumped ship before they expected, and so they kind of kept Clara to be with Matt, but then they had to ship her with Capaldi somewhat. And so all of her thing was, he's Grumpy Scotsman, and she's like, you're not the Doctor I chose. You're not the Doctor I know. And it was just, every episode was, you're not the Doctor I knew anymore. And it's just, okay, cry me a river. Get over it. Because I feel like they handled the transition from, like, Rose changing from Christopher Eccleston to David Tennant was a much better switch. Matt Smith got a new assistant straight off the bat, so they never had to deal with that. But they did not handle the Matt to Capaldi well, which is a shame. Have you all seen the leaked FNAF trailer? I saw it. It seemed pretty cool. I've heard good things. I have not watched it out of principle. I know Scott actually took to Reddit because he really didn't want YouTubers, you know, talking about it. And he was really pleased that a lot of YouTubers were, like, standing in solidarity and saying, no, we're not going to watch it because he doesn't want us to, or it feels weird. Because, like, that person broke serious NDA. Serious NDA. It was bad. Like, and what was worse about it, like, it was for like, audience testing, and their username was in the video, which means that they know immediately who it was, and they are going to get sued to oblivion. I wouldn't be surprised if Blumhouse and Scott tried to sue them, because it's really disappointing. Zekron, welcome, friend. Yes, so late you finished the game. Sorry about that. It's not very clear anyway. Yeah, no, exactly that. And as Scott said, it doesn't even have finalized VFX yet. Because you've got to bear in mind, they only finished filming, what, a month ago? Just over a month ago? So VFX are not done. Like, they've got until, what, the 31st? They've got until Halloween for it to release. Just before Halloween, like the 27th of October. So, we're only in May. VFX are not finished. And while they do a lot more practical effects at Blumhouse, rather than VFX, the VFX are not done. So, whatever things we think are there and are okay, are, like, good, or maybe even the things we don't think are very good, those are going to get better. Yeah, so many people keep leaking things. So sad it was leaked. People just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. It's annoying me that all the books are being released early and the books are leaking as well, because it really dominates conversation before books have even released. And then you have the dilemma where you've got some YouTubers will talk about books from leaks. Some of them will talk about books even when they've been accidentally released early, and then some won't talk about them until then, because it creates this weird dichotomy within the FNAF community, and I dislike it. I'm like, no, just why are the books releasing early? Why are bookstores putting them on their shelves early? Why are YouTube channels talking about them early? Like, if you've got a theory about it, my personal opinion is, great, plan your theory, release it for publishing day, but don't release stuff before the general public has even had a chance to get the book or see the movie or the thing themselves. That's my personal stance. Like, I've occasionally had a book sent to me early for FNAF. I will say that. They do get to me early sometimes. And I read them, but I don't talk about them. And if we plan a theory, we plan a theory for post-launch, so that people have a chance to read the book themselves. Because otherwise it's unfair for us to, like, launch a theory about, here's this new thing, and no one could corroborate or bring their own theories to the table, or it just spoils the book for them, and that's a shame. Oh, enjoy your vacation, Mr. Green. That sounds wonderful. Yeah, Varian, you go for it. Enjoy some Minecraft Legends, friend. Minecraft Legends is alright. How was the ending of Dredge, by the way? Interesting but underwhelming. Like I said, we should have finished it last stream, is the honest truth. Because it was like, hey, this is your last point to save. I expected some big thing or a set of events to happen that would take time, so I wanted to save it for this week. But sadly, it was just, yeah, you have all this warning that this is the last thing, and then you go to the ending, and it's like, cool. It's a really cool visual. Both are really cool visuals, and like emotionally through the story, it's really good. But when it builds up this level of hype, and again, like we saved it to this week, it was just underwhelming. And the main thing for me, as I've already talked about a little bit, there was no culmination of skills or items. Like, you didn't have to have all your stuff upgraded. So upgrading your stuff was kind of pointless to the end, like the final game. I'd have loved for it to be like, hey, have you upgraded your boat? Hey, have you got all the items you want? Because you can't go back, and you're going to need to, like, fish for certain things. And, like, you know, like we did in the volcano, or you're going to have to plant some booby traps. Like, you know, a culmination of the skills and the characters you met along the way helping you out to defeat, like, again, the bad ending, I think we could have, you just do it, and the bad ending happens, and you're like, oh, bad ending. But if we've gone for the good ending, we're going to destroy it. This evil thing is trying to stop you, and so it's making your hallucinations worse, or sending big evil fish after you, and you're having to avoid them and maneuver through these mazes while also trying to collect the items and set off the cannons because your friend from the island has said, yes, I'm going to help you. Like, that kind of culmination thing, I think, was just a bit of a shame that was lacking. It was just, oh, are you doing the ending? Okay, let's wait for night. Drive to this place. Okay, yeah, there's the ending. So from a gameplay standpoint, it felt a little bit lacking. But it was a good game, nonetheless. I still love the game. Just the story felt a little bit to me. Do you all assume that most GT viewers don't read the FNAF books? Less so these days. Like, admittedly, you go, when we get like 2 million views on a FNAF video, am I assuming that 2 million people have all read the books? No. I don't believe 2 million people have read the books. But I know there is a small subsection these days that are really keen on reading the books. And, like, there are a lot more YouTubers coming out these days and reading the books and talking about the books. ID's Fantasy, Ozone, Rye Toast, FNAF, Hyperdroid. There's a ton of them that are more and more starting to read the books and connect those to lore. So I don't assume that people are reading the books. And that is partially why we also don't want to talk about them prior to release, because if we do, then we spoil the book, because there might be people that are going to read it but haven't yet got there. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that don't read it and don't care about spoilers, but it's for that select few that it's like, actually, you are going to read the books and you're going to enjoy it, so I don't want to ruin it for you. Did I miss if we sipped? We have been sipping generally. It's a tea with Tom. There's been less cool sipping. I don't, because MatPat talks about them anyways. Well, exactly. That's like, some people do go, well, MatPat reads the books, or ID's Fantasy, or whoever reads the books, so I don't have to. That's totally fair and totally fine. And again, when we talk about the books, we try to explain the books in a way which means, hey, here are the key beats, because not everyone is going to read the book. So it's a mix for everyone. Anglerfish, that's what it's called, with the bad ending. Was it the bad ending, or was that the good ending? The good ending was where we got eaten. The bad ending was actually where we tried to bring our wife back. I've been wanting to read them, but I found there's audiobooks on Spot. Oh, The Raging Zekron, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, friend.
Also, thanks for all the love to the sugar gliders. Glad I could share them with you.
Great. Yeah, no, they were great. I love those. Loved seeing those things. I should really see about making sure that the audio dips when those come through on this. See, written horror is easier for me than visual horror, weirdly. Written horror I can kind of take, because I can kind of disassociate. Not a big fan of body horror and some, yeah, there is some body horror. Haps is a fantastic story, but yeah, there's body horror in that, which is less ideal. Yeah, like, I'm behind on FNAF reading. I need to catch up because we're going to have to be doing some theories soon, I would imagine. So I need to catch up. Hopefully this week I'll have some time to catch up. My favorite book genre is no book. No, I'm not much of a reader. I'm dyslexic, which makes it hard. But I'm just not really much of a reader. The only books I read as a kid was the Alex Rider series. I love that book series. Fantastic book series. So, but the only other ones that I've read most of are the FNAF books. And I wouldn't say it's my favorite genre of book. It's just they're the only ones I've read. I just don't like reading. I prefer watching movies or TV shows or playing video games. Reading has never been my thing. Even RPGs, I struggle sometimes where I've got to read a ton of the dialogue. I go, oh, this is boring. Get me to the next battle. Is it weird to be a writer and not a reader? That's the case with me. Yeah, it is strange because, again, same with me. I'm not really much of a reader, but I'm a writer. How I learned to write was by listening, which is why script writing was always better for me. So writing scripts for Matt or writing scripts for TV shows that I wanted to make. They were always easier because it was, well, translate this through a visual lens. So how do characters talk? How is dialogue? Characters just talk to each other. I don't have to worry about describing the scene. I just have to think about how the characters talk to each other. And I don't have to make it interesting like going, she exclaimed, or like find like a thesaurus to make things happen. I can just do it. Because it's just dialogue. The character does it in a way, which is interesting and easier to do. And then with Matt, it was just listening to his voice over and over again. And that was how I was able to write for him much, much easier. Because it was spoken word into written word rather than reading into writing. Point Blank. Point Blank was a great book. I think, to be fair, Johnny, I actually don't think I finished it. I think I didn't finish the final one, Scorpio Rising. I did them all up until Scorpio Rising. Percy Jackson series books somehow are easier for dyslexics to read. Yeah, I've heard that too. Pro Diamond, hello. How am I doing? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining in, friend. Appreciate having you. If I'm being honest, I can't read a book unless I'm interested already by the first chapter. No, that's totally fair. It's the same with me with TV shows. If you haven't grabbed me in the first episode, then what's the point? If it takes me 3 episodes to get into your series, that's too long. Fable Rain. Got any tips for script writing? Depends what kind of scripts you're writing. I've written a ton of various things, so it really depends on what you're writing. If you're writing, like, YouTube scripts, is different from writing a TV script. So, Fable, let me know what kind of scripts you're looking to write, and I might be able to offer you some tips. We'll try. I read so many books, and I love reading, but I've got so much other work and projects to do that I don't have time anymore. Yeah, see, reading always felt like work to me. Just, I think because it's so hard for me to read. Also, I find it much harder to read and visualize. Like, I can do it. I can picture things, but it's harder for me to, like, retain the information and to, like, picture the scene. I'm much better at seeing the scene, you know, because it's easy. You have Amphantasia! Yes! Ghostly Calamity. I don't have it, but I'm fascinated by it, and I know a number of people, a number of artists, funnily enough, who have it. It is fascinating. You can never see images. So yeah, reading must be awful for you, because you can't visualize it, really. You need, like, the main thing in front of you. Oh, Ragnarok, you also have it. That's fascinating. So many more people have it than I realize. Mainly, like, film scripts, like animation or and CG. but I'm also trying video game scripting. Yeah, video game scripting is like the one kind of scripting I've not done. I'd love to do it at some point. I'd love to be able to write a script for a video game. My advice for film scripts. So it's about, you should know it's about a minute per page. Whatever you're writing on, basically it's about a minute per page for a film script if it's formatted properly. Remember that the script is not just dialogue. It is important to make sure, particularly if you're doing animation, it is a descriptor and director for your animators. So if you are, say, like, you can say, like, you know, internal, like, you know, morning, internal, dining room. And then say, like, you know, a fancy dining room. You know, I saw what it was like, you know, a fancy dining room with chairs all around the table. One person sits at the table, and then you go into dialogue. Make sure you are being descriptive. It's like, you know, a fancy dining room. We see the walls are lined with paintings worth thousands of dollars. There is a long mahogany table in the middle with 20 chairs or 10 chairs surrounding it. There is one chair pulled out. Our main character is sat there pensively looking at his breakfast. Another chair is pulled away from the table. You need to make sure that you're describing the scene, because your animators don't know what to show. Because again, like with a film, you will have, like, you might have creative director, and you might have director of photography for animation as well sometimes. But it's useful to describe the details you want pointed out. It's like, what kind of table do you want it to be? Do you care? If you care about the shape and the size of the table, put that in there. If you care about what kind of pictures are building the scene, what kind of angle, like, you can put in camera direction, like, yeah, we pan across the wall where we see dozens of paintings worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it is. It's using things like that, making sure you're not just directing what the actors are going to be doing and how they're meant to read their lines, but using the script as a chance to build the world and tell your animators what they're going to be doing. That's one piece of advice. But also, for dialogue, try reading it. Read it out loud with someone. Always read your scripts out loud, and ideally with someone else reading the other line, because you might think this sounds really good and clever as dialogue, and then you actually get to an actor trying to read it, or you're trying to get it made, and the dialogue feels really clunky and stunted. Think about how you talk or how you want the character to talk. Get into character yourself, because if you're making the characters, you know the characters better than anyone. So get into character and speak the lines with someone else. See whether there's a flow to the conversation or whether it feels really stinted. And of course, the biggest thing is don't exposition dump. Do never exposition dump in dialogue. Always make sure always make sure that you just don't go, hey, you know, like, make sure that character, like, there's a thing which is like, you know, actions speak louder than words, show don't tell, and there's a sense of going, rather than being like, oh, so what did you do last Saturday? Oh, well, I went to this big festival. Hey, they've got another one. And, like, and explain the whole thing. It's like, let us discover things about the characters. Show it in a poster on the wall. There's a poster. Or we see a ticket next to his bed that shows he's been at a concert the night before. Rather than, hey, where were you last night? Oh, I was at this concert and I've got a really bad hangover. It's like, no. Show a concert ticket. Show a sick bowl by the bed. Show that he's drooling and hungover, empty beer cans by the bed. It's that sort of thing, which is much better than just going, this is what's happened and how I'm feeling. Show stuff. So those are my 3 bits of advice. And hello, Candy. I have seen you pop in. Apologies for not jumping in as sooner. I was mid-flow of a thought. If you'd love to see some of your writing, Ragnarok, I think people share the same feeling about mine being descriptive. What's that? I raised in retrospect the other year that why people find my writing style distinctive. I'm unintentionally very descriptive because my mind's eye doesn't fill stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's fascinating. Nerd confession, I cannot stand the Lord of the Rings books. The writing is so boring. I don't disagree. Tom, curious now, since I don't understand how Amphantasia, non-Amphantasia people imagine. What's it like for you? What, imagining? Like, I can picture stuff. It's not great, and I was always awful at drawing from memory or doing any kind of art from memory. But I can picture stuff. I tend to... my brain tends to be in words mostly rather than in pictures. I tend to think in words and sentences, and it's like... There are some people who read in their own voice, and some people just read, and I don't understand how you just read without hearing a voice, because in my head, it is my voice reading the words in my own head. It's very interesting. You're very welcome, Fable Rain. I hope it helps. Good luck. That's why I think voice acting doesn't get enough credit. They do a lot of imagination to use in order to get their characters down to just their voice. Exactly, Raging Zekron, that is absolutely true. My clunky issue is with a sounding more archaic when spoken aloud. Yeah, that's the thing. Because you're being more descriptive verbally, it doesn't sound like normal conversation. Would be my assumption, because you're having to describe things more rather than show the image, and that's just... It's a learning curve, and you can get past it. I say, like, Rubber Ross is a fantastic artist, and yet he has aphantasia, so he can't picture images, and yet he's a fantastic artist, so people can get through it. I can read in different voices and hear what I say and hear what I say in my voice. Interesting. See, the only time I read in different voices is when I know the character or person who should be reading it. So when I'm writing scripts for game theory, I will often read it in Matt's voice in my head, because I know Matt's voice so well, and it's him who's going to be reading it. So I need to go, does this sound natural in his voice, or how I believe his voice sounds? But normally, if I'm just reading a book, I'm often just reading in, like, I hear my own voice. I think I must have the same kind of reaction when I go, wait, people don't hear a voice in their head. Yeah, I don't understand the people that don't have a voice in their head in that regard, particularly when reading. I don't understand the people that are just like, oh yeah, I just read and there's no voice. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense to me, because I'm much more word and audio based. So I think that tends to be. It's why I used to love making music, was because I was audio based, so I could hear things and go, oh, the harmony's here, or the music, oh, the guitar's actually playing it like this, and play that out. I don't know if this is real, but apparently Garrett Hines is going to be cast. Yeah, I've heard about various things like that. Yes, Robert Ross is great, agreed. Fair Chase, I've heard many are like that. I don't understand the mechanics. Yeah, I think, like, reading the books and then having movies and TV shows can be hard, because either you've built up a vision in your brain of what they sound and look like, and then the movie and TV show is never going to match it, or you have the opposite problem where you can only read the book now in their voice and their visual, despite the fact that there's probably more to it than just that. If I know the voice someone has used for a character, I read it as their voice. I sometimes do. It depends how well I know that material. So like I say, writing scripts for Matt, I know Matt's voice really, really well. So I read it in his voice. Whereas when it's, you know, something I've maybe only watched once, I don't necessarily read it in his voice. Like, I struggle to, like, I would struggle. I've only watched Deadpool 1 and 2 once each. So I'd probably struggle to read a Deadpool comic in Ryan Reynolds' voice, or hear it in Ryan Reynolds' voice, because I don't know that iconic voice quite as well. Do you have any advice for writing summaries? I'm horrible at it because I find everything important in my D&D session recaps can be quite long. Ha! Oh gosh, that's funny to me, because that is actually a bit of feedback I received from Matt, was I tend to want to find answers and explain every little detail rather than focusing on the core points. For summaries, Mystic Rune, the advice I would give you is think about it as like a last time on Dragon Ball Z or whatever it is. The notes you need, you're not trying to hit every single point of last episode or last session. You're not trying to go, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. What you need to do is go, where is the story likely to go from today or this next session? What are the key points? Like, so for example, let's say in the last session, you're introduced to a witch. And this witch has given you this magical item. And in this next session, you're expecting this magical item to be used to be plugged into a door that's going to open a magical realm. Let's say. So that item is important. Therefore, that item and the obtaining of that item needs to be mentioned and is important. However, does every detail of what the witch said to you need to be mentioned? Maybe not. They might have said, hey, it's got a magical purpose, so that could be useful. But her saying, oh, I really love cats, is not an important detail. So that can be missed out. And even when recapping, like, and I know D&D, obviously, there's improv, and so it can kind of go every which way. It's about just hitting the key beats. What were the big moments that are important for the story going forward? Always refer to Chekhov's gun. That's a Mark makes a very good point. Chekhov's gun. It's that thing of you've shown something, now is it going to pay off? So when I'm writing a summary, and we do them on Game Theory all the time, when I'm writing a summary, it's going. It is literally going, hey, we did a theory on this a year ago. Or here is the game that you may not have heard of. What are the points I need to tell you that are going to pay off today? Because I could sit here and go, hey, here's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Let me tell you the entirety of the story of Bendy and the Ink Machine. But no, in the summary, it's going, hey, here's like core gameplay mechanics and key story beats are, hey, we're Audrey. We end up in an ink world. It turns out we're made of ink. Like those were the key beats because that was what the theory was going to play off of. We're going, hey, maybe we're actually a real person and not just an ink person like the game says. That is kind of where you have to think about, basically looking at it like that. What information does the player need or the audience need to understand the payoffs of this summary or today's session or story? Because you can say, the crew, the intrepid heroes spent a good amount of time saving this dog, and they nurtured this dog back to health, and so there's this dog, which they've then given to someone else. That doesn't need to be mentioned, because that's probably not going to pay off in any way, unless you have a plan for this dog to return, in which case it might pay off. But it's like, you have to decide what's going to pay off, or what do you intend to bring back for it to pay off. I tend to make a recap of my recap, because at the start of the session, I have to tell it. Ain't wanting to tell 4 pages, so this is all great advice. Well, there you go. Basically, only tell people the stuff that is either a big story point for your world, because that is just important general knowledge, or stuff that is, stuff that you intend to pay off in this episode. So, for example, the dog example is actually a good example. If they've nurtured this dog back to health and it's joined their party, you might want to mention that, because they'll need reminding that they now have this dog in their party. If it's been given to another owner, so it's not in the thing anymore, you might not need to mention. However, you might go 2 or 3 sessions down and go, oh, actually, I want this dog to return. So you don't need to remind them in the recap in every session. You just need to remind them in the session when you intend the dog to play. It's like, hey, and a few things back, we had this dog. Because it might be important for them to know that this dog is important in some way and is going to play a part coming up. Might be. But that part of it is kind of, it is also up to you and up to what you know. You will know your players and what they need to know. Because they might remember the dog anyway. Because they're so obsessed with this dog. So they might just remember they have this dog anyway. Or that this dog's going to come back. They might just be so obsessed. But you also may go, they're not going to remember that they picked up this really important item, which is going to pay off. So, yeah. Pose, hello, good to have you, friend. Will I ever play Roblox Piggy? Probably not. Roblox Piggy is kind of, not died, but it's not in fashion, so unlikely. I don't intend to play a lot of Roblox, just because it's not the kind of games that I enjoy on the whole. I might dabble in it at some point, but it's not the thing that I, It's just something, it's not something that, Piggy's not something that superly interests me. I've done a lot of research on it in the past for potential GT Lives and stuff, but it's not something I intend to play, particularly not here. If I end up playing it, it'll be because I'm on GT Live and we're playing it. But yeah, there you go. And with that, last piece of advice. It is time to end. We have hit our 2-hour stretch. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. This has been great fun. I always enjoy a tea with Tom, even when it's because of an underwhelming game or an underwhelming ending. But it's always fun to do a tea with Tom. So thank you, everyone, so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do like the stream and, of course, subscribe. Thank you, everyone, for keeping company in the chat. As always, appreciate you all. I've just seen the super chat come through. I want to see if it will show up before I do officially finish, because I want them to get their moment with the screen and everything. So everyone hold on. Let's give them their moment. But yes, it should have been fun. Thanks to you guys. You're very, very welcome. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back on Tuesday with more Horizon. I think we're heading into the end game of Horizon as well, actually. So we'll be heading for Horizon. Come on. Come on, Super Chat. Come through. I believe in you. Come on, you can do it, Super Chat. I've got it loaded so I can read it out anyway if it doesn't load. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Poison Heart, thank you for the $5, though. Appreciate it. For summaries, I always do 3... Oh, there we go. Typically, as I start reading it. Yes, thank you for the $5, Poison Heart. Appreciate it.
For summaries, I always do 3 levels of summary. By that point, I always reach a point of proper priorities.
There you go. That is key advice there. But yes, that is going to do it for today. So like I say, please do remember to subscribe. Please remember to like the stream. It really helps out. And we'll be back on Tuesday with more Horizons there. Thank you, everyone, once again so much for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So with that, ta-ta.